Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bommer and Griffin, the show where we remind you that some people are like slinkies, not really good for anything, but you can't help smiling when you see one tumble down the stairs. I'm back again, once again with Jackson, and I want to give us a spoiler warning real quick because we we seem to be leaving those out every time we talk about a movie. We
Yeah, I
bring it up.
can't remember if we gave one at all in the first Batman one,
No,
and we
no,
gave
we just
nobody
we
one like halfway through our synopsis of the film.
yeah. Well, what the movie
Um,
would have come out 33 years ago, or
yeah,
close to that. So you had enough time to see it. All right, that's your fault if we spoiled that.
but
So
yeah,
unlike '89,
um,
today we're talking about the sequel, but kinda not direct sequel. Tim Burton didn't like the idea of a direct continuation, but wanted to do something different, and he talks about it like it's the next chapter rather than this
but it
is.
has all of the same character. Well, not all of them, but like
Yeah,
a lot of the
originally
same
there was
characters
going to
and
be a
stuff.
lot more like direct references to
The events of the first one.
yeah, the events of the first one, like having Jack Nicholson there and Vicky Vale, and or like referencing Joker and what he did much more. There was going to be a lot more ramifications for Joker poisoning like the makeup products and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of things that ended up being dropped because again, this is supposed to be more standalone thing. But uh, what did you think about this film?
Thought
Since
it was alright. I did like the first Batman one more.
yep,
But I liked this. I liked. We'll get into it more later. But I liked the Penguin. I liked uh Max Shrek.
yeah,
Christopher
yeah,
Walken. I
oh
didn't even know Christopher Walken was in this movie. That was a nice surprise.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to
I
keep
ended
some
up actually
things.
really loving him.
Oh,
Um,
he's fantastic.
yeah,
So, yes, Tim Burton once again returned to direct, and he got darker for sure. The
indeed.
the sexual innuendos, the blood, he went pretty full on.
Mm.
Um, I don't know what they're called. Like, there's more Burtonisms. It's a new word. I'm coining it. That he has those kind of that style. It's in like Corpse Bride and every other movie he does.
Yeah,
Um,
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie and the Chocolate
yeah, yeah.
Factory.
Everything's just kind of creepy and dark, and he
Yeah,
really, yeah, doubled down on whatever he did in '89 and brought that to the table here. So, yeah, Gotham's own Santa Claus, Max Shrek, Christopher Walken. Great surprise that he's always here. I love his hair.
oh yeah,
He wasn't a like character that already existed in DC Comics. He was an original character created just for the
yeah. I
film.
had never heard of him.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he's like Papa from Stranger Things on steroids with that hair.
I don't know who that
You know what? Don't worry about it. Hopefully, someone got that out there.
is.
So, the
I haven't watched the new season of Stranger Things.
he's in
But
all the seasons. It's like the guy that's um supposed to be like he was the one testing on 11 long before she ever
oh,
got out. He's got that grey hair and shit and
oh
sticks
yeah,
up.
I remember.
Yeah, yeah, it's like him on steroids. So the first time these well, I'll start even further back at the start. The opening sequence with Penguin and his parents, and them getting rid of him and throwing him down the
Like him
zoo.
eating a cat.
Yeah, yeah, he ate a cat. Um, it's such a I don't know. In just like the first few minutes, you can tell how much darker and more Tim Burton this film really is.
Mm.
The way his parents are, the music by Danny Elfman once again, and I I sympathize with this version of Penguin.
Well,
Legitimately rewatching it felt bad watching them like just discard this kid.
uh, he it doesn't. You stop feeling bad for him pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Later on.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, he has his gross like crab lobster hands.
Yes, that was something else that was original to this film because you can't just be called the Penguin or Catwoman. You have to like physically be a cat or a penguin, and have it like overdone the animal symbolism. Um,
Mm.
so the first time all these goons show up at like the tree lighting ceremony at the start, these look more like a Joker gang rather than Penguin's gang.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see a whole bunch of like literal circus clowns
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
running
say.
around.
Some of the goons are clowns, and then
Um,
of course Batman's alerted to
and they've got
this.
like the Jack in the Box with a minigun and shit.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was
Like,
great. That we had
what happens to the? Well, actually, I was gonna say what happens to the exploding penguins from the Lego game, but
yeah.
those are in this film.
So
That's
Batman is obviously alerted, but he's alerted by having the signal reflect from the sky to
yeah.
lights.
I was wondering how this is like. Does he have little bat signals in his house, and does nobody like see those? And they're like, "Oh, he's a fan of Batman."
Oh no, I was wondering who installed the giant ass reflective bat logos on the roof so that he
Well,
could have that cool shot.
who bit the Batcave?
I don't
These are
know,
all
man. There's some
huge
serious
questions.
questions. Like, did he have like a team of 6 guys in there? Like, all right, now just don't tell anyone, and I'm paying you off. Like,
Yeah.
I'm using this. It's a sex dungeon. Just don't ask questions. Just to draw away suspicion.
Hmm.
So
I mean, he has no problem with killing people.
no, no, he doesn't. Especially not in
There
this
are
one.
there are some construction workers buried in the Batcave.
Yeah, for sure. That's what he did. That's how nobody knows when the job got done. And it's how he stays a billionaire. So before Batman, I mean, he's alerted. He comes down to stop the thugs, but before he even gets out of his car, he sets a guy on fire. The murder is off the chain here.
Yes.
So when he hops out, finally, we see he's in his new costume. What do you think of it?
It was new?
It was very new. So instead of like having the very muscle defined outfit like in the first one, it's much more armored. Like the whole abdomen looks like the Batmobile almost. And the logo's fixed for my sanity. Thank God. It makes me I needed that. They also added a zipper to the pants for Michael Keaton because they didn't have that the first time round, and they learnt the hard way that you need to be able to go to the toilet, and you need to.
Did he piss himself on set?
No, I don't think so. But that would have been funny to hear. Batman, the man who fears no one, pissed in the suit.
I
But
was gonna say, how did you not bring that up?
yeah.
But,
Well,
yeah,
he's got a zipper this time around. Okay, so the suit's
probably had
better.
a couple close calls.
And in this movie, he doesn't wear Nike boots. Yeah, they were Nike sponsored boots in that first one.
They lost the product placement.
Well, this time they're Air Jordan 6s connected to an upper, which gives them a boot-like feeling. But my Batman wears Jordans.
Amazing.
So amidst all the chaos that's happening, Shrek is kidnapped, and we're introduced to the Penguin. And I just love how grotesque he is.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he is something else. Danny DeVito, like Jack Nicholson, at least for me, he defined Penguin as a kid. Like, this is what he is, the hands and everything. But yes, the flipper hands, they were an original thing created for this, and it was something that was later carried on into Batman the Animated Series, the definitive Batman, by the way, which began in 1994. So 2 years after this came out, but 1 year before the Jim Carrey Batman Forever film. And I love this guy and his umbrellas. All right.
yeah, he has so many different ones.
He does. He has one for every situation. I need me that helicopter one to like go to work. Like,
and half of them, it's like, what is it even for? Like, he has the one that has like the what's it called, like a mobile for babies.
yeah. He's like at the end, I picked a cute one. Yeah, I don't know why he has that one. Does he actually like deal with kids down there? Is it for the penguins? Maybe, I don't know. I love his cause too. He at first, he just wants to know his parents and have basic
I don't-
recognition.
I'm not certain that was true.
Well, at first, you know, that's the things that he wants, and I love how even when that story's kind of played on TV later, that even Batman is sympathizing with. Oh, I hope he gets to meet his parents and stuff. So amongst all of this, we have been shown Selena Kyle a few times, and she is the secretary for Max Shrek, Christopher Walken, our man.
Thanks for Barry.
And she guesses the password to his computer, and he's like, I'm just gonna have to kill you. It's a lot like that.
Oh, that scene where he tries to kill her is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's
How he
kind
like
of like,
turns away.
yeah, they're so like over the top, but it's a quiet dialogue scene.
Mm.
Considering all the things that happen, and then nah, I'm not gonna kill you, and then just shoves her out the window. So she falls through all the I don't know what you'd call them.
Like it's like the cloth.
The
task
cloth
or
on like balconies, and hits the ground, and she doesn't just become Catwoman because she survives that. No, she has to have literal cats eating at her fingers and stuff. And I gotta say, as a kid, it freaked the hell out of me. I did not like watching that scene at all, but it was well worth it for what we got. So, sorry?
Oh, yeah. Catwoman's design in this film, which I guess we're about to get into.
Yeah.
I, personally, I'm not actually that big on it.
What?
I I
It's
told you the other day because I
yeah,
messaged like a
yeah.
couple times while I was watching it, but every time I saw it, I just kept thinking about the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction was 94, so maybe the Gimp took it from this.
Maybe.
2 years later, that Gimp shows
And
up.
she has all those like stitches, and I'm just imagining like when you get like a loose thread on your shirt or something, you just pull on it,
Yeah.
and the entire fucking costume comes undone.
uh, I love the idea that it's just supposed to be that single leather jacket. She's somehow cut it up and
Yeah,
stitched it into an entire costume, and the seams are almost always ready to burst off the thing. It's so over the top, but I love it.
yeah,
I really do. But yeah, just before she dons the suit for the first time, she's destroying her apartment, and I really like the scene. I I don't know why. She has all this cute stuff and just is destroying everything. I think a lot of it's to do with Danny Elfman's score. You know, I like that he really retained the Batman theme and then just added more music to it instead of trying to reinvent the wheel with it. You know, just add Catwoman's theme, Penguin's theme, that kind of thing. The first probably still has the edge in terms of music, but that's because of its use in other media like the games, but for me it's just as good. So we have Cobblepot visit his parents and all this stuff, and he thinks that, you know, I don't know what his plan is. His motive kind of changes a couple of times throughout the film. It's not a perfectly structured movie.
yeah.
Um,
I did feel a bit bad how he constantly has like just a crowd of people following this guy.
yeah, constant cameras. My man's like seeing daylight for the first time in his life. It's too much.
Yeah, and he's like on a journey of self-discovery, and everyone's just watching it.
He's a humble man, very humble man.
Like they're just crowded around the cemetery.
Yeah,
Pretty pretty sickening.
yeah.
Um,
No, it's I like that scene again.
mm,
Something about Tim Burton's style just kind of makes scenes that should be ordinary like that kind of shine. And the scene we get following is Catwoman's first appearance, where we see her in the costume, and her cat mannerisms are a lot stronger than I remember them being. You know, the whole "I'm Catwoman, hear me roar" before flipping away.
yeah. Her constantly flipping everywhere was incredibly hilarious because there's another scene where she does it.
Yeah,
I remember.
um,
Um,
I'm not sure which one. She's flipping a lot in this movie.
oh, I'm remembering. It's later. And we said we wouldn't talk about later scenes when we're
Yeah, we'll try to stick to chronological stuff for
Yeah.
now. So after we see Catwoman's first appearance, she goes back to work, and the derpy look on Bruce's face is priceless. Right?
Yeah.
There's Smitten, and then there's Michelle Pfeiffer is in the room, and you can't really blame him.
Yeah, to be fair.
Like, she walks past, like, talking about how she might be insinuating that she killed, like, one of her classmates when she was younger, but Bruce is just turning his head like, this is amazing. This is the hottest woman I've ever seen. And I just love it. But there is a scene very shortly after that kind of tops it. I want someone to look at me the way that Danny DeVito looks at a fish. Alright? That's what you gotta get. Because, my God,
Yeah.
he is smelling that fish and looking at it and going, I love how over the top this movie can go.
Oh yeah.
And then we get one of the best scenes following that with still could be worse, my nose could be gushing blood.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of that? I really want to get in your perspective of you seeing
When
this for the first time.
Penguin bites the guy's nose off.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow. He does it like right in his like mayor office or like campaign office.
Yeah. They're
In
like,
front of everybody.
let's make him
I'm
mayor.
I'm just like they still think this guy is like fit to be mayor.
Oh, dude, I love his like gray onesie. I don't know what you.
Oh yeah, every time you see him without the jacket.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so gross. He's just
Yeah.
wearing that, eating a raw fish. And
Yeah.
Shrek's like, for mayor, let's go. But
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't even know where he is. He's just sitting there eating a fish, and everyone's like coming up trying to talk to him and shit.
yeah. Our voters tell us they like fingers, so can you put these gloves on? But yeah, that scene where it could be worse. My nose could be gushing blood. You know, I didn't think much of it as a kid, but as I grew up, that's really messed up. Like, you see some full blood squirt out of that nose.
Oh
and
yeah.
it is a kids movie, and it was the things like that kind of had or have led to these movies and their downfall, which I'll get into a little later. But I love it. I mean, even in that scene, when the two people that are there promoting, like the guy that has his nose bit and the woman with the gloves, as she's walking away, he's like, I want to teach her my French flipper trick. What?
Yeah, no, he's Penguin is certainly quite suspicious around women.
Oh, I
and,
love Danny DeVito. My guy is a huge pervert, though. He's
Yeah.
pretty damn twisted.
I don't think there's a scene in this movie where he interacts with a female character and doesn't come on to her in some way.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty intense. He's got no chill. He doesn't care. I mean, when you look
Yeah.
like him, you just wouldn't give a shit. Everyone already looks at you that way.
Yeah, no, the scene where he meets Catwoman is definitely something.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, Batman just happens to be fighting thugs after this, and we get to see him use the remote control batarang. There's a few new gadgets and toys we get to see in this one, which is good. You know, it helps expand on it and everything they've already established. And then, before he confronts Penguin, he is confronted with a huge thug. I can't remember this thug's name. I just know him as the guy that's like, go on, hit me, and then gets punched and then just turns his head back real quick as if it was nothing. And Batman's solution to, well, I punched him once, I guess there's no other way to defeat this guy, is to strap dynamite to his chest and throw him down a hole. Now, when he does this, right, and he walks away and the guy explodes, he smiles, alright? This fucker, he smiles as he puts the dynamite on his chest. This Batman's brutal, man.
Yeah, he takes no prisoners.
No, he doesn't. Michael Keaton even revealed that was his favorite scene when he filmed. After putting the bomb on him, smiling.
Plan A, punch them once, and if that doesn't take them out,
that doesn't take, let's just blow
instantly.
him up. And I love Tim Burton. He didn't think it was that bad. He was like, no, well, you know, it was kind of a tame explosion, you know, as it shot out and all these things. I watched the movie a second time with the director's commentary. It's just fantastic to hear. You know, you can hear
Oh,
him kind of trying to tone down, like, oh, the execs were wrong. It's not that bad. And he's kind of
well, the
right.
exec's like saying like, "Oh, this is fucked up, dude. Why are you having Batman slaughter these people?"
Yeah. So, meanwhile, while Batman's taking down all these thugs, Catwoman is prepping a store to basically blow up. And all of the whip stuff she did was for real. And when she's like whipping the heads off the mannequins, she did that in one take. She had some serious training for all this stuff, but I can't believe you could even like move in that outfit. You just know if like I'm wearing that and I bend over, like that shit's just ripping in half. Like I'm not gonna be able to move in that thing.
Now I'm imagining you wearing that.
No, let's not. That's actually a bad train of thought. Let's move along. So so Catwoman flips out of the building, just flips and flips and flips and flips.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way to traverse when you're wearing
Cool.
heels. You can't actually walk in the heels. And then says meow before the store explodes. And that's probably the most iconic scene from the film. I mean, it was in all the trailers. It was everywhere. You had your three big characters meeting in the one space.
Yeah, no, that was the scene with her flipping that I was thinking about earlier.
Yeah.
When
Like, it's going to be... that's why I like having
flips
your
over to
perspective.
the,
Yeah, because...
Batman and the Penguin.
yeah, they're like, why is she flipping? She could just walk. Yeah, because I grew up watching them and I'm so used to it. Is like this is the norm. The way that you view the Spider-Man trilogy, I never stopped to question it because that's just what it was growing up. So yeah, I really appreciate having your fresh set of eyes on it. Going, why is she just flipping everywhere? So Penguin's all like, I seen her first, takes off in his helicopter umbrella, and then just kind of goes elsewhere. And we have Batman and Catwoman fight for the first time. And I love it. As soon as Batman strikes her, how could you? I'm a woman. Bam! Using 2022 techniques to stop Batman. This movie was
Yeah.
ahead of its time.
It
Uh,
truly was. And then he actually like apologizes.
yeah. I'm sorry. But yeah, he ultimately gets the better of her and backhands her off a building. Alright.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, in Nolan's movies, like, he tossed the Joker off a building, but even shot a grapple hook down to save him. Not in this universe, not even like
Yeah,
a
no.
woman he's remotely into. He just
So-
backhands her and she falls.
So that is something I don't know if I missed something, but was she actually like dying and coming back to life? Or was she just surviving these events? Because she says later that she like died 3 times, I think.
So I think it's still somewhat in reality that she's not actually dying, but how she's been so close to death and these people have tried to kill her that, you know, she's only got cats have 9 lives, all that thing. Because, you know, when she falls out of Shrek's building, she hits all the, again, can't remember what they're called, the cloth, all those cloth shades, and, you know, I would assume that those broke her fall, and that...
Before she broke her spine.
Yeah, and that's why she has to flip everywhere now.
Yeah. She's paralyzed from the waist down, so she can't move her legs.
Yeah. So, yeah, he gets the better of her. She is saved by Kitty Litter. And after that, we are shown Penguin once again strutting for that mayoral campaign. And this for me is the scene that's the most... I don't know if creepy's the right word for it, but it's the one where he's like, you're the hottest young person a role model could have. Like, the whole movie stops so that he can put this button on this girl that's, like, obsessed with him becoming mayor. It's just weird. But, yes, he goes upstairs, he finds Catwoman, and, yeah, this is, how many quotes do I have to bring up?
All of them. Just quote this.
All right. Well, before we even like gets to reaches her and he's just walking over. It's just the pussy I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, like,
Yeah,
goddamn,
it's
who
like
wrote this?
when you said earlier when it was a kids movie, I was thinking of like this scene. I was like, mate, you sure?
Yeah. No, the only reason I say that it's a kids movie is because of the toys and the way it was like brought about, like its marketing and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, look, on its surface, it doesn't seem like a kids movie, but then
Yeah.
there's literal penguins at the end with a plan, and we'll get there. But anyway, who wrote this? Because
One.
she's Catwoman's like, the one thing that we have like in common. And Penguin's like, what, naked sexual charisma? Oh my god. It's just unreal, really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so used to it,
And
but
she
I
like
really had
has
to.
a bird in her mouth.
Yes, so that's real. People thought that was an effect, but she really did put a bird in her mouth and hold it there for a while and let it go, and it flew out. It was pretty nuts, honestly. That was one of the things Tim Burton was like, that's amazing. I can't believe you could actually do that. I guess Michelle Pfeiffer likes to eat birds in her spare time, so she's used to it.
Fair
I don't
enough.
know. I mean, this is like method acting for her and
Yeah.
for Danny DeVito. Like they are a penguin and a cat.
So does that mean that Danny DeVito really ate that guy's nose?
Yeah, for sure. Um,
What?
so there's something about that scene that's so funny and so just out there. The entire thing, like from Penguin asking about like, oh, maybe you're a sorority chick that didn't get that pony when she turned sweet
Yeah.
16. Like, it's nuts. And Catwoman laying on that bed. Like, if you grew up with this movie, all right, you grew up with it. You just you just people felt something. All right, I felt something. I ain't ashamed to admit it, man. I didn't know what I was feeling as a kid, but I'm like, there's something about what I'm looking at right now. Anyway, and
Yeah,
you're
let's
not
try and keep
into it.
this
That's
PG.
sorry.
Let's try and keep this PG.
PG, bro. We cuss. We make offensive jokes. We long left PG behind. So, moving forward, Selena and Bruce, they have their date, and I love their chemistry much more than Bruce and Vicky's in the first one.
Hmm.
Because I feel like, just as a character, Michelle Pfeiffer has just so much more range in terms of what she can do, and she can really match Bruce's obscurity and quirkiness. And so overall, I prefer their dynamic much more.
There's also the added thing that they're trying to kill each other. Oh,
Yeah, that too.
but they don't actually know that, which is I guess
So
dramatic irony.
yeah, so while they're dating, Penguin is scheming to kidnap the princess and tosses a batarang at her. That scene's pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's true.
And while he's done that, their Selena and Bruce's date has to end, so they go off and do what they do. And Batman has one of the best one-liners I've ever heard in that scene, which is "Eat floor." And I don't think I ever really noticed it before, but I did this time watching it. I also love the guy that's in the crowd that yells out, "He pushed the princess!" Not of any relevancy or importance. I
Yeah.
just wanted to bring it up. I love that guy says Batman pushed the princess. But I don't think Batman
You
gliding
were
around
gonna
in the
scare her.
bats paints him in a heroic light. It's probably not the best thing he should be doing in that situation.
Yeah, that's true. I did think it was funny when Catwoman said to the Penguin, like, "I thought you were only he only wanted to scare her. And Penguin's like, yeah, she looks pretty scared
Yeah,
when she was
dude. Yeah,
falling to her death.
there's some great moments in this.
Yeah.
Uh, but you've got that kiss as well, if you could call it that. That's different. She just licks him. I guess she is a cat now. I don't understand. Is this anything like the movie Cats?
It, there there was some similarities there. Um,
So, while all this madness has been happening, the Batmobile has been tampered with, and we are taken to Oswald Cobblepot's School of Driving. Uh, and we really do get to see more of the Batmobile in this movie, which I appreciate. In the last one, we really got it like taking a sharp left around a corner, which it couldn't even do. It had like a cable shot out against a traffic pole to pull it around because it just couldn't turn. But here in this one, yeah, we really get to see a lot more of it just driving around streets and sets. There were so many sets for this movie. About half of the Warner Brothers lot was taken up with sets, and they were all designed on wheels so they could all be moved around. So frequently, people would show up to the lot and be confused on where the hell they were or how the hell to get to which set because it was all just constantly chopping and changing. So later on, we have Batman accessing the Batcave, and in an effort to now, like, the sequence of the Batmobile, he records everything that Cobblepot's saying to then play it later back while he's at a mayoral campaign. And so when he goes to enter the when he goes to enter the Batcave, he uses like a little trigger inside a castle in his fish tank or water tank.
yeah.
And I think that's better than the piano keys and like Nolan's Batman. I feel like less people are gonna reach in and grab the fish tank than just randomly play notes.
What is worse is that you have to step into an Iron Maiden, like it's Despicable Me 1.
Yeah, that part is a bit full on, but
Um,
it turns into a slide. He literally has a slide into the Batcave. Ah,
yeah.
like he comes down the tunnel on such an angle and like perfectly rolls straight into a walk in his tuxedo. It's awesome.
Yeah, no,
But
that looks quite fun.
they go down and Batman does some DJing on the CD
Hmm.
of all of Danny's recordings, and Danny DeVito, he refused to have a stand-in for the scene where all of them throw tomatoes and lettuce at Penguin when he's like just pelted with the food. And at that point in the film, Danny Elfman, who did the score, was also in that crowd and was pegging fruit at Danny DeVito. So the Penguin, being rejected, heads back down to enact his final plan to kidnap the eldest child and, a quote, toss them into a deep, dark, watery grave. All right. Now, in my family, that's me. So I felt very personally attacked as a child. This whole fucking vendetta to pick at us older brothers. There was a subplot that was cut out that would reveal that Shrek was his younger or older brother. I can't remember exactly which way they were gonna do it initially, and so that would tie
Looks
into
like
this
he's
whole.
probably older.
Sorry.
He looks like he's probably older.
Yeah, he's probably
Penguin's
the older
only
brother.
like 33.
Yeah, I'm
He
not.
doesn't look that good for it.
No, no, not at all. But the whole line, toss them into a deep dark watery grave. That's once again, it being a kids movie. um, so after this we have Shrek's party thing, masquerade ball. I'm not sure what exactly it is, where we have Selena and Bruce dance. And I really genuinely enjoy this scene where they figure out each other's identities. That realization was really well set up and paid off because you've got the whole mistletoe thing that's put in prior. Another thing that's just once again, it's either irrelevant or absolutely crucial to bring up. But Penguin's duck, his big yellow duck
Yeah, no, I know that.
on the scissor lift. Yeah, just wanted to bring that up. Cool, thanks. Moving along. Uh, for me,
I thought you had something to say about it.
Nap just needed to bring it up. It's important. That big yellow duck on a scissor lift. Let's go. Not sure how when he's on it for the first time, saving the mayor's baby and that, how it gets him all the way up to the surface, like just through the tiny, oh my god. Yeah. And, I'm not sure how exactly it does that, but who cares? Penguin's duck. And every Lego set and game from this point forth adapted this duck in some way. It's just there. I don't know why, but I'm happy it's here. So for me personally, this is where the film starts to lose me, or it's the only weak aspect for me, because despite some of the strange choices, I am always thoroughly entertained when I watch this movie. But it's when he's getting a plan with actual penguins to shoot missiles at all of Gotham. I'm still not sure exactly what the plan is.
Yeah.
These are actual penguins. They're not the penguins of Madagascar, alright? They don't have this together.
Yeah, they're being controlled by some kind of signal or something?
Yeah, something like that. He gives a speech to the penguins and everything.
Yeah, I thought that part was funny.
Yeah. Even in that moment, I really think Danny DeVito kills this.
Oh yeah, he's great as Penguin.
Yeah. But the plan's very quickly foiled by Batman, and so it all feels a bit, I don't know if redundant's the right word. But then we get to see the Batboat very briefly. We don't get to see it do much. We just kind of see it. Considering we've had the Batmobile and the Batwing, usually those are the three that we have to see at some point or another, and I'm glad it made an appearance still. It just adds to it. So Batman, instead of just taking the righteous path through this tunnel, decides, you know what, I'm just going to shoot my Batboat through the bloody roof of the Arctic Lounge or wherever it is. It's usually the Iceberg Lounge, but I think it's called Arctic World in this.
Yeah, it's like a theme park or something.
Something like that. It's like a zoo, and he kind of just lives in the zoo. Anyway, he ultimately defeats Penguin. He falls through a roof into the water again. He's right back where he started. He didn't get very far. And the movie kind of jumps around a bit, not in a bad way. We're cutting between Catwoman and Shrek and her trying to kill him, and then back to Penguin a bit and back and forth. So Batman removes his mask to reveal the eye makeup disappearing. Did you notice that?
I did, yes.
Yeah, it's just cutting back and forth, and then all of a sudden it just cuts back to Batman, and he has no eye makeup, and it just rips the mask off. And I just can't believe for the longest time that I didn't notice that as a kid, but I definitely know now.
Is the Batman the only one that shows him having the eye makeup on without the mask on?
I think so. I think it is. And I don't
he
know.
had the eye makeup on again in The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
I
see,
don't think there's any scene.
No, I think there's one scene in Rises where he comes back and you see him take the cowl off from a distance, and it's revealed that he's got no eye makeup on. And I don't understand why filmmakers really try to hide it, like it's something that shouldn't be shown, because I think, like in The Batman, which we got, was it this year?
Yes.
Damn, Batman was this year. Time is going...
March?
Yeah. Like in The Batman, we finally get to see it. It really adds to this idea that he is sweating in this thing. It's dirty. And that's how much he's embodying this character, rather than this just being like a thing he just changes in and out of. And I really appreciate that in the new one. But yeah, in this one, he just takes the mask off and the eye makeup is gone. If no one's noticed that before, watch it again, you'll see it. Uh, so Batman's trying to convince Selina that, you know, there is a future and there's a way that they can, you know, move on as if it's a fairy tale or something, but Selina's like not having any of it. And I found it really funny this time around when Shrek just keeps laying bullets into her.
Yeah, I was gonna mention but I was fucking laughing my head off when he just shoots her like 5 times in the chest.
Yeah, I have never. I've watched this movie a lot of times, and I've never laughed at that scene. And for, you know, whatever reason, this time round, you know, she's like, "I'm still alive," and he's like, "All right then, bang, bang." He just, oh no, 6, 7, all good girls go to heaven. All right, I'll just keep shooting you then. Like, and Christopher Walken, he's just so careless with it. He just doesn't care. He's like, all right, I'll just keep shitting you. I am a bad guy. I would just keep doing it. And yeah, I just found it really funny this time around. She goes to kiss Shrek with the taser, and even just seeing like Shrek's corpse, that's brutal alone.
Oh, yeah.
But it's then followed
all,
by
like,
something that's
burnt
even.
up or whatever.
Sorry?
When it's all like burnt up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, when he sees like corpse all mangled there. It's pretty full on, but the film has not had enough there. It tops that once again, and we get to see Penguin's like resurgence out of the water, and my god, is it bloody and brutal. He's just like perpetually spewing green blood. It just doesn't stop. And that's of course where he picks the cute one, and he can't stop Batman in time. And I guess he kinda has a funeral. I mean, he has like penguins come out and like escort him into the water, but he then like spews even more blood. It's twisted. This movie is twisted. And that's pretty much most of Batman Returns, and it ends with a small little tease that Catwoman is still alive and that this could go somewhere else. That was not originally going to be in the movie. That was like a last minute, hang on, let's just shoot this. And apparently it cost $250,000 for just that shot to get everything set back up.
How did it cost so much?
Sorry?
How did it cost so much?
Well, it was a thing they did well after production ended, and it was maybe, and again, I'm just shooting in the dark, like 3 weeks before it came out, kind of thing. Oh, we'll just do this, and we'll get a stand-in because we couldn't get Michelle Pfeiffer, and just do this shot. And I think it was a good addition. So,
does she actually return?
Well, we'll get to that in the following movies, won't we? So, the original Batman 89 had a budget of $48 million and made a return of $411 million. This one, it made $47.7 million in its first 3 days, which was a record at the time. I believe it was beaten the year after, though, by Jurassic Park. And it had a budget of $80 million, and its return was $266 million. So, not as much as the first, and I think it's one of the reasons Warner Brothers were like, nah, we're taking this in a different direction, because, man, did parents complain about this one. All of the Happy Meals toys of, like, Penguin were just, I can't remember exactly what they look like, but just the idea of, like, McDonald's toys for this movie sound pretty dark, and it was something that, yeah, parents complained about, how just full on the blood, the sexual innuendos, everything was just too much.
Happy Meal toy?
I'm sorry?
On the Happy Meal toy?
The Happy Meals toys and just the movie itself, they all complained. They were like, it's too dark, this is not for kids, this is you're going way too Tim Burton on us. And so for the idea of the third movie coming, Tim Burton was down to do it, and he wanted to have Robin Williams as like the Riddler and a couple other things, but he wanted to do it his way. the studio was like, no, we are not doing that again because it made even less money the more dark we let you go. And I personally really liked this movie, but they had disagreements, and then Tim Burton was out, and hence Joel Schumacher entered the picture, which we'll get to in a fortnight's time. And
Indeed.
yeah, Tim Burton and Keaton personally both prefer this film to the first one. Uh, Keaton said that the sequel kind of spoke to him more and that he greatly enjoyed the filmmaking process for this one. I think mainly, if I had to pick the main reason, it would probably be because there was a zipper in this suit.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to dive into some trivia real quick. I don't have too much on it, but it was Jack Nicholson who originally convinced Danny DeVito to take on the role of the Penguin. And
He was like, yeah, being a villain in these movies is awesome.
he's like, yeah, do you see how much extra money I got because I had this contract loophole where
Yeah, did they make up? Did they do that again with Danny DeVito?
I don't know, but apparently there was like what feels like 30 actors before they got to Danny DeVito, which blows my mind because Danny just seems like the perfect choice to begin with.
Yeah.
He apparently liked to remain in character between takes, so that must have been really fun on the set. Apparently, he just made people feel uncomfortable. They didn't want to talk to him as if he would bite their fingers off or something.
I always find it's either like real kind of cool or really cringeworthy when actors stay in character off camera, like when Jared Leto was apparently doing shit.
When
in
Jared
Suicide
Leto
Squad.
does it, it's not nice.
Yeah.
Out of the many people that were potentially going to be cast as Penguin, my favorite and probably the most interesting, it's the only one I wrote down, was Rowan Atkinson was considered for the role. Can you imagine if Mr. Bean was the Penguin? What would
With
that
like
have...
weird hands and the nose and the teeth.
I don't know. Like, can you just imagine any of the scenes, like just the pussy I've been looking for, but it's Mr. Bean.
And I just keep all of Mr. Bean's like mannerisms and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't talk. It's all like physical body humor. Oh, that would have been amazing. So during a 2007 talk show appearance, Michelle Pfeiffer was asked if she ever felt nostalgic to put the Catwoman costume on to amuse her husband. And she stated that once filming was over, she never wanted to see that costume again for as long as she lived. From stories that I've heard, it was apparently just incredibly hard to get on. Like, it was as hard to get on as you'd think it would be. Apparently, she went through 60 cat suits during the 6-month shoot at a cost of $1,000 a piece. So...
Because they kept, like, ripping or something.
I would assume so. So if it's $1,000 a piece, and that's probably American, let's say it's double here for us, so that's $2,000 a piece.
Well, I mean, that's not quite right.
Well, it's probably like $1,600, but this is gonna make the math easier for me. Even so, all right, let's just use USD. All right, United States dollar, $1,000 per suit, 60 cat suits, $60,000 in just those costumes. That is insane. So...
yeah, it's about 90,000 Australian, I just checked.
Yep. So, I am not the only one that feels a certain way about this Catwoman, right? I'm not crazy, alright?
Michelle Pfeiffer doesn't feel that way, apparently.
Apparently not, and you know what, that's okay. She's still my queen. But... other people felt a certain way about this too, and I'm going to keep it PG, but the story about Warner Brothers, they had to constantly submit new Catwoman posters for various cities, as many of the bus stop ads were being stolen for reasons I can't quite explain. But it got so bad that police officers had to patrol bus stops in order to catch perpetrators before they could break the plexiglass containers. And apparently, those large-scale Catwoman bus ads are now worth a great deal of money, according to
Damn, should have
our.
got one while I had the chance.
I know. I can't believe people were stealing those posters. Not the ones with Penguin or Batman, just the Catwoman ones.
Wait, that means the Penguin ones are still up for grabs?
I think so, man. They'll still be hanging up. Like, hey, go
Might
see
have to
this
grab
movie.
me a couple of those ones.
Yeah, gotta get me one of. Dude, I'd love a cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito as Penguin.
That would be great.
That would be fantastic. Constantly ask him, to teach me his French flipper trick or something.
Dude.
So,
Why does it come from France? When has he been to France?
I'm assuming it's something to do with like the term French kissing, the
Oh.
French flipper trick. It sounds dirty, man. It sounds really bad. But according to the casting director Marion, Tim Burton was uncomfortable with casting Christopher Walken as Max Schreck. When she asked him why, he said, "Because that man just scares the hell out of me." I just thought that was hilarious. You've got Danny DeVito as the Penguin, not breaking character mid-takes, and Tim Burton's like standing next to him looking over at Christopher Walken. In my eyes, or in my head, it's like this.
Yeah, he's
Looking
just
over
like,
like, nah, that Christopher Walken, man, he scares me, eh? He scares the hell out of me.
yeah, he's just like eating a ham sandwich.
Yeah, he's just on his lunch break, man, just living it up. Christopher Walken, he was also cast to play Brainiac in the aborted Superman Lives project, which I'm still mad that I never got to see. Do you know about the Superman Lives project at all?
I've heard of it. but I don't
Superman
really know
Lives. I mean, Nicolas Cage was gonna play Superman.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I know.
Have you seen the photos?
I think I have a long
he
time
had
ago.
he had like a huge mullet and everything.
Yeah.
It's so
He had the
upsetting.
Weird Owl hair.
Yeah. I'll dive into what I'm about to talk about now a little more come when we talk about Batman and Robin, because I want to talk about anything other than Batman and Robin. But
We're not gonna spend an hour talking about the plot again.
not for that last one. Maybe. You know what? We'll see how we go, alright?
We need to bring up all of the ice puns.
We'll see how many we can bring up. And remember, we'll have
Yeah.
a counter for that one. So, there was going to be a fifth Batman movie before the fourth one didn't do so well, named Batman Unchained. And the main villain was going to be Scarecrow, with Nicolas Cage playing Scarecrow. Which, again, is just another thing I wish I could have seen. And he was going to have hallucinations that were going to make Danny DeVito reprise his role as the Penguin. Reportedly, Jack Nicholson was supposed to come back as Joker, even though he died. Hallucination or not, I don't know.
When you said that, for a second, I was like, holy shit, Jack Nicholson died?
No. No, whether... I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
he dies in that first film. They were going to bring him back, and I'm pretty sure he was just going to be back, like, not as a fear toxin thing. I can't remember all the details, but this fifth movie that never happened was just apparently insanity. So hopefully we can talk about that much more when we get to the fourth one, because I don't know where else I'd ever talk about it.
Is there like a lot of information on it, or is it kind of?
I think there is a fair bit, but man, the idea of one of these styled movies with Nicolas Cage as Scarecrow, and he would have just been in his prime, like just overacting and going nuts. Oh, I wish we had
They
it.
don't make movies like this anymore.
No, they don't. This was the last major Hollywood film to be done in what's considered the old-fashioned way, with indoor sound stages, miniatures, various other vestiges of old school Hollywood filmmaking. Like, it was the last one. We still get miniatures every now and then, but so much of the Hollywood landscape is dominated by green screens and CGI now.
Yeah. Watching like the behind the scenes of like a Marvel movie is always fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's Nothing
Just
there.
on green
There
screen
was
every time.
a really cool behind the scenes featurette for this movie called The Bat, the Cat, and the Penguin, and you just don't get things like that anymore.
Hmm.
But uh, there was so many cut ideas from Batman Returns. Once again, they flirted with the idea of Robin, but were like, we have Max Shrek, we have Penguin, we have Catwoman, we have so much going on right now. We really can't cram Robin into this. I'm sure if it was under Marvel's banner, they would have tried. Never, it can never have too many characters.
Hmm.
Um, but in the original script, some of the ideas that were cut were the initial attack at the very start, at like the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, was to be much more elaborate. They were going to be infiltrating Max Shrek's penthouse and taking Max, Chip, and the mayor and Selina hostage. Batman would have had to fight his way up to the penthouse level to save them. In the process, leaving the Batmobile behind in an alley but forgetting to put the shields up on the car, so Penguin's thugs can then approach the exposed Batmobile and take photographs, thus providing an explanation as how the blueprints were ever in their possession. But the novelization of this film indicates that the Penguin got the plans from a disgruntled engineer who helped design it. Not as cool, but hey, if I could go back in time and have the choice, I would really like to see a fucking 3 hour cut of this movie. I really anything extra because I think
Burton cut.
uh the Burton cut. That's the way these movies are now. We need a Snyder cut. Oh, we need this cut of the movie. No one's happy with the movie anymore, and I
Oh
think
yeah, it's
it's
something I thought of the other day, but it's like while I was watching it, but it's like in like Batman versus Superman or whatever,
yeah,
people were furious that Batman was just like shooting people or whatever.
yeah, yeah. People were over it, and you know I really thought we as a people had learned. I wasn't happy with it either.
But
These movies I kind
because
of
I
just
haven't seen
accept.
Batman versus Superman, but I'm like, what's the difference? Like, why can't Batman kill people?
So the big reason and the reason why all of us fans get real antsy about it is because when he kills anybody, he then is a criminal himself and he's no better than the people that murdered his parents. This idea of justice in his eyes just becomes very hypocritical if he starts murdering people. You know, that's the
So
very simple explanation.
him killing all those people in these movies is a problem.
Yes, even in these movies, it is a problem, but it's kind of forgiven, and I think a lot of the community forgives it because if we didn't have Tim Burton's Batman '89, we wouldn't have a lot of the stuff we have today. These movies really did change the landscape because all we had prior was the Superman movies, and they were very superhero. You know,
Yeah.
everything we got with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson's depth in that first film, other than just being those fantastical characters, was more than we ever deserved. Um, but I'm glad I got to grow up with them. This is sometimes my favorite of the four. I flip flop between this and the first one all the time because the first one technically
Never the third or fourth one.
never the third or fourth one. Although I don't mind the third one, I do go back and watch it every now and then. Sometimes you just want that aesthetic. It's a lot like how this second one has that Tim Burton feel. Everything is super stylized and gothic and over the top, and the sound is always swelling and grand. The third one also has a very niche aesthetic that's not in many movies. Um, it's a lot akin to how Fight Club has a certain aesthetic to it that you kind of want to go back to it just because it has that vibe to it. That's what brings me back to the third one every now and then. I do like it, but it's never my favorite. It's always a fight between the first and second one. And yeah,
What are you leaning towards right now?
right now, I don't know, man. They're pretty side by side for me. The first one is technically a better film, but the second one You know, the bat suit's more refined. We get to see the Batmobile do more. I love Selena Kyle's Catwoman. You know, everything just feels like it's doubled down. The darkness of it, the blood, the fucking everything. It's just pretty nuts the whole way through. And that this is the only live action Tim Burton / Joel Schumacher Batman movie to not feature flashbacks of a young Bruce Wayne. This is the only one.
Huh.
And I'm glad it doesn't. We don't get to see his parents die. So, yes. There was a lot of criticism from parents regarding the dark, violent, and sexual overtones of the film. And there was even speculation at the time that the movie was going to receive an R rating, which is just insane to me. I'm not sure what it is. Hang on a second. What? No way. Okay, so I just checked my my 4K movies. The first one is PG, all right. The second one is M. Okay, makes sense. This one's a bit more. The third one is PG again. Okay. The fourth one is M. Why is Batman and Robin M for mature audiences? That
is not a film that kids should watch.
No, it's too adult. Its themes. Oh my god.
I mean, some would argue it's not a film anybody should watch.
I mean, Uma Thurman the entire time basically is a porn star, so I suppose. I mean, not that she's doing porn star things, like just every word of dialogue and its delivery sounds like the plot of a porno. So, one of her famous lines is, "I have some wild oats to sow," which hopefully we can either dive into or hope to not dive into in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
So, how do you think this stacks up against the first one?
I literally tried to start talking about but you kept cutting me off. When you watch the footage back, you will notice it.
Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to say that the first one gets ahead for me mostly because of how much I like Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I think he's like the best thing in either of these movies.
Yeah.
By like a long shot. I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah.
But this one is very good. So it's not like I'd say to somebody watching the quadrilogy, like, yeah, skip 2, go straight to 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, this is good. Probably, only gets better from here, I hope.
The only way to go is up.
Yeah.
Well, I am glad that you enjoyed this one. Some people are a little, turned off, but I thought the darkness of it is not going to discourage you at all. Some people, the drastic change between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is completely different. Like, this is the last time that Michael Keaton reprised the role of Batman. However, he is now reprising the role again in the Flash movie, which may or may not be coming out. We don't know. So I guess this isn't the last time he reprised the role. But yeah, from this point forth, we just have different Batman actors.
Yeah. I thought Robert Pattinson's supposed to be Batman now.
Well, he is, but then Ben Affleck is also coming back as Batman for the Flash movie as well, and I'm just so fucking confused.
Wait, Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck
are going to be in the same movie, yeah.
Is it like No Way Home or something?
Pretty much. It's going to be their way of doing it. The Flash does have the ability to run that fast that he can run back in time and forward in time, and let's say he runs back in time, changes a big event, goes to the future, timelines can be changed, screwed around, whatever. Not sure exactly how they're going to do it, but that's the direction they're going. They did have a trailer that kind of showed that Batmobile with like a big cloak over it, but you could tell it was the '89 Batmobile, and we saw the cowl of Keaton's Batman, and it'll be fun to see him back. But we don't have George Clooney in the third film. He comes later. We have Val Kilmer taking up the role of Batman in the next one, which is different once again. And Chase Meridian is also a porn star. You know, they're all porn stars from this point forth. Women don't really have an identity. Chase Meridian. Nicole Kidman.
Ah.
Yeah. The bat signal is a beeper. I'll let you figure out what that means come next time.
Alright then.
Is there any other movie news or things that have been going on lately for you?
No, not really.
I'm still chugging away at Better Call Saul.
You were supposed to have a review up today. I was going to ask earlier.
Yes, it's out in 12 minutes, and you are going to have a great surprise with this one. You're going to love it.
Oh, brilliant.
I did something very special for you, but it was that good that the video got claimed already, so I very much look forward to hearing your thoughts. But I'm about 3 or 4 episodes into season 4 at the moment.
I mean, obviously you can't spoil anything on the podcast, but what are your thoughts on that so far?
Good.
Generally.
Very good. I still have a lot on the show that's the same as my thoughts in season 3 and the review that's coming out soon, but I'm very much enjoying this show. I can't wait to see where it goes. But I'm getting there. Don't worry. I want to watch it, so I'm getting these reviews done. But otherwise, why did this have to be the last good Batman movie? Like,
Well, I mean,
for these, like, I really wish we had a third Tim Burton Batman movie. It would have been awesome. But no, we have to have Joel Schumacher take up the mantle of the Batman movies, and the big problem really is that he wanted to maybe he's like in his fucking 70s or 80s when he was making these Batman movies. He was very much getting on, and he really wanted to harken back to like the 60s Batman, you know, and it's done pretty well in Batman Forever, kind of balancing that tone with what's come before and making it still feel like it's canon. But the fourth movie, he really just makes it the 60s, and the whole idea of this quadrilogy, or it was going to be a trilogy, was to steer away from that, you know, be like, hey, this isn't the 60s Batman, this is something serious and bigger. And for me, you know, they all came out long before I was born, so I just didn't know any better and watched all these movies independent of one another as kind of their own thing. I knew they were, you know, in canon with one another, but when you really remember and know that Batman 89, how great that was, came out before Batman and Robin, like Batman and Robin was trying to follow that, it makes it much worse than it is. You know what? It doesn't make it worse than it is. It is just, it's the worst. Oh, God, not looking forward to it. God.
Oh, wait. Oh, I know. Batman and Robin is the worst?
Batman and Robin is the worst.
We'll see about that.
Knowing you're probably going to love it, but for all the wrong reasons. Anyway, I feel like I'm starting to drag this out now, so I don't want to keep everyone here. That's our basic thoughts on Batman Returns. I really like it. For me, it stands the test of time, and it really sits side by side with the first one. Just the way Danny DeVito is. He owns this role. And for me, Michelle Pfeiffer created what was a very definitive Catwoman. I don't know if it's really been topped for me in live action, you know? I mean, the best kind of Catwoman is a mix of like the animated series and maybe the Arkham video games, but yeah, this really set the groundwork.
The Arkham games, so I don't really know.
Well, I would love to go through those with you one day. I'm not sure exactly how we would do that, but it's worth seeing and checking out. But anyway, thank you everybody so much for joining us. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. If you want to listen to more podcasts, if you've got some ideas and movies you'd like to have us take a look at, feel free to comment those down below. If you've made it all the way through to the end of the podcast, you are a bloody legend. Thank you again, Jackson, for joining me once again. And we're going to be talking about something very, very spooky next week.
I've forgotten what it is. I don't. I was actually gonna ask what we're doing next week.
Yeah, no, it's okay, man. It's okay. We'll just we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks everyone once again, and bye.